Hey everybody, it's JJ from Comic Con Online. I'm super jacked. I'm drinking my Monster Energy. They sponsored the show. They didn't. But I am super excited to be here with two of the band members from Beasto Blanco. Obviously, this has been a huge collaboration for Comic Con Online and Beasto Blanco. We're going to be debuting the Ash Can here. We're lucky enough to have both Chuck and Calico here. We're going to bring them on in just a split second. We will give you updates as to how you'll be able to purchase these copies. We have different versions of them, and we do have copies signed by the entire band. We've got them signed by Chuck, Calico, Brother Latham, Jan, and Sean. We've got all of them signed. We've even got some that are remarked with little sayings, things like that. We'll break all that down for you. So without further introduction, you don't want to see me. Let's bring Chuck and Calico on.
Hey, what's going on?
We got you guys.
You got us.
We're excited. How are you? First off, how are you guys doing?
Doing really, really well. I'm working on directing a commercial today, so I'm in what looks like a 1970s principal's office. Enjoy. Enjoying surroundings.
You're in detention.
I know.
Chuck, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks. Yeah, man, just still trying to recover and get my land legs back. It's been we just got off the Monsters of Rock cruise, so yeah, just trying to get back into that world. But super excited to be here today and talk about this amazing Ash Can, and we're just super stoked about the comic itself.
Yeah. Well, that makes all three of us, and I know all the band members are, and all of us at Comic Con Online and Source Point Press, who's publishing this. They're all excited about it. I have to ask right away, you just went on a cruise. You know, first and foremost, I think that would be the most amazing thing, to be on a cruise, be with my fans, but have all these other bands that are on the cruise too, all this other stuff going on. So I have to ask, we did kind of a sneaky little thing where Chuck brought 100 comics on board. He offered them up to the fans when they did the signing, all of that stuff. And I think that went well, as far as I know, Chuck. I mean, when you and I talked, it sounded like it went really exciting for everybody to say, like, what's going on here, you know?
Yeah, we kind of have this this saying, which is like, go big and go broke. So we did that, man. We turned our show around, and we redid our intro to sort of bring attention to the Ash Can. We took, you know, the storyline and made that part of our intro tape. So by the time the fans got to the meet and greet and got to do a photo op with us, we had the Ash Can available for them, and it just got picked up. I mean, you know, yeah, it was just they were just gone. So I mean, to see the girl who was selling them come back with an empty box, I was like, oh, did I grab one for myself? You know,
that's the thing. We didn't even get in 1 hour. She came back and she goes, that's it. I went in and out, just woof.
Yeah.
So
well, and you guys had asked me if I could get on a lifeboat and row out there with another 100, I think, if I remember correctly.
I know you said something about having a bad back, or I don't understand why the slack, but okay.
Well, the coolest part to me about all of this is, first off, hearing that they all went like that is not shocking to me. I think we all knew that. I mean, you know, I think for me personally in the comics world, you think, well, let's see if 100 will sell, and they sell like out instantly. But the coolest thing that I love about Beasto Blanco and love about especially you two with what you're doing with all of this is you didn't just say, hey, let's just do this cool comic, wrap it up and be done. You guys have been really serious about promoting it, doing a lot of cool things. But in your shows, the first show you had, Calico, tell us about the first show with the introduction and how it worked. I mean, I want to hear it from you.
So we got to see the Ash Can, you know, obviously a little bit before we put the show together. And we try to do, you know, when you go to a rock concert, I love an intro. I love a big dramatic intro. You know what I mean? Like it's electric. And so we always try to do something new. And this year, you know, to honor the comic and to honor sort of where our music was going, I go, okay, well, Chuck and I decided let's sort of take these warriors, these like earthbound sort of like horrible Mad Maxy warriors and launch them into space, right? So we did the costumes and we did all this. When I saw the Ash Can, it's an intro. It's an intro to the comic. And to me, the way my brain works is I went, what a perfect intro to the show. So I took 5 or 6 lines from the ash can that sort of lets the audience know the lights go out, right? And then the bad guys start talking, and then we land, right? And when the show starts, it's the last line of the ash can, and the lights come up, and it's like we're going off of our ship onto the planet. So now you are watching us leave the ship and start the show. And when we did our first show, it was cool enough. That's literally what the beginning of the show looks like. But like the first show, nobody had seen the ash can yet, and they were just thought it was cool, right? They were like, well, it's, bad guy voices and explosions and everything. And then the light comes up, and it's one of our sentries, and he has the CO2 gun. And then Chuck and I walk into the light and sort of stand behind him, and it was electric, and they hadn't even seen the ash can yet. So then we sell like the whole place out, right? The packed, like wall to wall people. And the ash can is out. Everybody has it. And we do the second show. Now everybody's seen the ash can, and they're looking at the comic and watching it happen on stage in real life. So it was like a Broadway heavy metal Mad Max throwdown. And it was so great to see the comics in the audience and people just saying the lines along with it. It was so cool. So yeah, it really took off. It went well.
Well, Calico, you at least have to say the last line to this scene, because that's how you enter the stage. Am I correct?
Do I have the gun in it?
Yeah, it's where you have the gun and you're
okay, wait, hang on one second. Let's see. All right, there we go. Knock, knock.
That's it. With a banana.
I'm in catering. I don't.
Yeah. Can we
It's
get that
still
banana?
Scary.
Sign?
Even with the banana, nobody messed with her.
Nobody move.
Well, I thought that it was one of the coolest things. Chuck played us an introduction for it right away, and I know Corey and I sat there and we're just like, this is amazing. And I think that that's a lot of what there's a lot of your fans that are on here now, and we're also bringing a lot of people that may not be aware of you, and that's what we're trying to merge here, are the two parties together to understand that one of the reasons that we wanted to work with you is because we were so excited about how much you guys care about your music, how much you guys care about your fans. We've heard it, we've read it, we know it. I mean, we do our research, right? You guys do your research on us. But one of the coolest parts is, it's not just coming and watching a band. You're coming and literally getting an experience when you come to these shows, right? I mean, it's a full on, like you said earlier. I mean, it's full on, like it's a full experience. Besides the music, you are watching characters on the stage. You are seeing all kinds of different things happen. And I think that that's, one of the coolest parts about music is when you get that added bonus, right? We live in this world where everything we want now is to be a visual stimulation. Plus we want to hear it and we want to do all that. So I think that that's such a bonus for you guys and such a good way to do things.
Yeah. One of our favorite places, like, Calico and I've talked about, like, is Universal Studios or Disneyland or any of these things. And Beasto is, obviously a little bit from the underground of those places, but we think of it as a theme park. We're out there. We want to escape from where we're at right now, and we want to take our fans on a journey as well as we want to be on one as well when we're on stage. And what this comic has allowed us to do is take these characters from the pages and just bring them up on to real life on stage, which we've been doing for years. But with the introduction to you guys and with now this actual physical piece of comic that we have in our hands, people can come read about these characters, but then come see them live on stage as well. And we're running with it. We love the idea. It brings life, things that we never thought were possible, and helps with the flow of the show and adds to the excitement of the songs.
My dog is here as well.
Let him. He's excited to see me, probably.
Oh, yeah.
Every time I talk,
mine's in the other room, Calico. Just so you know, that's how we do. Yeah, that's how it goes, right?
Well, like Chuck was saying, I get off on, I think a lot of rock bands, including us, we love the applause, we love the singing, we love the shouting. But me personally, I think there's something that really gets me off about looking down at a crowd in the middle of the first song because the intro was so big and every face is like this. It gives me goosebumps. There's something about it that just makes me go, "That's what's up. That's what's up." So
there's a photographer, Calico. Remember we were talking to Neil, one of the photographers, and he's an amazing photographer. He's always on the boat, but I have to remind him that he's there to shoot the show because he's like this. And I'm like, "You have a camera." He's like, oh, right.
See, and what you're dealing with too is a bunch of, and I say this because I'm one of us, a bunch of real sci-fi nerds. And for me, I know that I grew up obsessed with Mortal Kombat and Magic the Gathering and, all that kind of stuff. And so when I was creating, this particular character, it's like these guys are not only like, you could take away all of the bells and whistles and we'd still be a great band. We're a good band. We play, and we did a live stream for Rolling Stone where we had no theatrics, no makeup, no nothing. And I remember thinking, "Ooh, how's this gonna go?" And it went amazing. The reviews were amazing. So that really was great. But for me, I think like we come from this world of, I'm so excited to put this character on and put these shows together, and it's always evolving and always like getting bigger and weirder. And so with the intro of the comic, I think it opens up like barn doors in my brain where I go, okay, I know where we're going with this. And I'll be up, drinking red wine going, and then right, and I'm just writing out storylines and plots. So this is something that I know we intend to carry on with, because what a great idea. What a perfect marriage, right? Of band and comic. It's just like the perfect band to do it with, because we'll keep creating all of this insanity, and it's just getting it like immortalized on paper. And you guys captured us so well. The dynamic, everything just so well. So, I mean, I'm over the moon to just keep going.
Well, and I think one of the things you hit on is I always refer to a quote and I use it in my own life because under my own business, I probably have 12 other businesses, right? But they're all under mine, and I'm trying to manage this all on my own. But one of the things that gets me more than anything is there's an old saying that says wealth is boring and creativity is exciting. You want to create. And so I think for you guys, it's creating music, but then it's also how do we create an experience? That's what I get from you. And from when I've talked to Chuck, I can see why the two of you get along so well, because it's about just my brain, you like your guys' brains aren't shutting off. You're thinking, how can we keep going? How can we keep building? And there's something fun about that, right? You're playing the same songs. You're excited about that, I'm assuming. But when you can add a new element to it, it's got to be even more exciting to be like, how do we just keep putting layers on this thing?
Yeah. And the other guys in the band, Jan, Sean, and Chris, they are, I've been around a lot of bands.
Right.
A bit of a legacy kid, but the idea is like a lot of these guys in bands take themselves so seriously, and what they're not understanding is that all the big guys, Ozzy, Alice, Dio, all of those guys did everything they did with a little bit of, there was a little smirk, a little like tip of the hat, a little hit of the cigar. And so we can't help, being legacy and brought up essentially by those guys musically and sometimes actually, to sort of have caught that. And I think that the other guys in the band, when we purposely kind of kept a lid on the comic, and when we got them all together in one room, we told them that we were doing this comic, and it was close to tears because they have been so cool and so accommodating. And anytime I say, hey, can you do this? Or can you dress like this? Or can I stand on your head? Or whatever it is, they always go, yeah, okay, yeah. They're the coolest guys, and they're so good at what they do. And they are coming right along with Chuck and I as far as like the energy and the path, and they trust us implicitly, which in my situation, it could be very different. Being the only woman in the band, being the only one that doesn't play an instrument, could very much be like, okay, well, you're the character, you're the face, and like sit down. But we are such a collaborative effort. And now these guys are kicking it up a notch, going, what if I wore? What if I brought out? I'm like, I love it. I love this.
No, I think it's great. And I think you brought up a lot of different, lead singers or people that were theatrical. And when you add that element to it, it's such a big deal. I have to ask a question, and I always wonder this about people. So yeah, I'm putting you on the spot, but not in a bad way. If you had to pick your favorite, since we're talking about metal, if you had to pick your favorite, the first favorite metal band you ever had, and it can't be anyone that you're affiliated with, it can't be Beasto Blanco, it can't be anything like that. What was like the first metal band that you were like, oh wow, this is where I need to be? Chuck, do you remember your first metal band that you went, okay?
Dude, think about when I grew up, it was just loaded full of the best. I mean, I can tell you the first time I heard Alice Cooper or Kiss and Black Sabbath and Iron Maiden. And I mean, you really want me to pick a favorite? I honestly just will say that there's just an era of that time from all those bands that just changed my life dramatically. I mean, I can tell you that, like, it's almost like tasting, sushi for the first time or something, what it sounded like when my neighborhood friend played me Alice Cooper record. Like, I can tell you exactly what it sounded like when how the bass sounded to me and how different it sounded from everything else I was listening to. So all of those bands. Okay, I am affiliated with Alice Cooper, and I have played with Ronnie James Dio as well. But for me, it's seeing Ozzy Osbourne and Iron Maiden and those bands doing it at such a high level and being so like Calico said, in the moment, like taking it serious, but also having a good time doing it and understanding that this is part of the show. And we had no intentions of doing it any other way but this way. And those bands have always resonated with me. I think, like, even working with Calico, like, she excites me. She always has since I've met her. She's just such just a force. She's creative. She just doesn't, like I always said, like, I could, hand her a telephone on stage or whatever, and she's going to sell it. And she'll figure it out, but she'll take an idea, and there's never, no, I don't like that. She'll figure out a way to make it work for her and take it to the next level. And we are fortunate enough to work with guys in our band that are all the same way. No is just not a response to any of us in the band and what we're trying to do creatively. We're just in this thing to create something that's unique and different and original to us, and to pay respect to the people who started it, and
Right.
we can't help but do that. I mean, it's just in our blood.
Yeah.
And we're really into what this comic has done to bring life to Beasto Blanco, and this is going to be an exciting journey for all of us. And I encourage all the fans out there of Beasto Blanco and comic book fans alone to get into this comic, because as we start getting closer and closer to your town, doing tours or signings or whatever, you're going to experience something you've never experienced with any other comic, period.
Yeah.
We will always take it to the next level because we love what we do and we love our fans.
Well, that's apparent. And Calico, I would ask you this too, and you may say, I'll just point to Chuck and say what Chuck said was good. But
Probably
I'll
not.
ask you I'll ask you too, what was your, and remember, you have to be a little bit impartial. You have to be impartial with this.
Yeah.
First metal band that you went, whoa.
Can I answer?
Yeah. You shut that mouth, big Beasto. So
NSYNC, does NSYNC count? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, exactly. No strings attached. But no, I if I'm being completely honest and impartial, when I was a kid, the music played around my house was a lot of metal and then a lot of like Laura Nero. So I had like this really and a lot of musicals, and I think that really had a lot to do with it too. Like my family loves musicals and like deep B-side ones that nobody's ever heard of, right? And everybody's always singing in the car. So like I remember really loving when I was a little kid. I think I was like 3 or 4, and Constrictor, Alice Cooper's Constrictor had just come out. And that's what we listened to, in the car. But it was like the demos and like because, he's listening to it and trying to make fixes and changes. So the first metal I ever heard was like Constrictor, Raise Your Fist and Yell. And I think to this day, that may still be my favorite era of Alice, because it's literally what I heard all the time, like Roses on White Lace, Gale. I remember listening to a song like Gale and seeing, this thing coming out of the smoke. Like my brain started working like that very young. Like I would, my little Discman we had, like I had the Discman with my little foam earphones, and I would sit and I would listen to like Raise Your Fist and Yell, Trash, Constrictor, all that stuff. And I see like directing a movie or like a video, I would see exactly where the lights were, and there's no budget, right, in my head. So it's this epic Baz Luhrmann-esque like thing. And that's just the way I still fantasize to this day. When I hear Beasto songs, when they're done, I listen to it and I go, no budget, no cap, magic is real. And I just create whatever it is. And then I go, okay, what's the budget? I can make it happen. But I sort of got back into it, metal, I guess. I don't even know if you want to call it like new metal. Hey, it's all good. I'm just talking on the computer. When I heard like Danko Jones, Clutch, guys like that, that was the first time in a while that I had gone, you listen to Metallica, you listen to Anthrax, you listen to all that stuff, and it just kind of was like regular on my, my music thing. And then Chuck actually turned me on to Clutch, and I love Danko Jones. And it's like, oh my gosh, who are these guys? And I started like devouring their record. And again, I know something's happening when my little tingles go off everywhere and I can close my eyes and the video starts.
Right.
And I can direct, the cameras on the front of the motorcycle and we're pushing in through the lines. Like that's when I know that I love something. So I'd say right now, it's Danko and Clutch, and I'd be lying to you if I said my first wasn't like Constrictor and Raise Your Fist.
Yeah, and I think when we talk about theatrics, I was to tell you even how it resonates with me. I remember, growing up, and I liked Huey Lewis. I mean, I was in that age. I'm 48.
Oh, I love Huey Lewis.
I do too. So it was Huey Lewis, it was Madonna, it was Michael Jackson, it was all that. And then late one night, I'm watching Radio 1990 back in the day. And then all of a sudden, it was like on public access or something. They had like videos, but they weren't real videos. They were kind of like those videos where they cut frames out to make it look different. And I saw this dude come out on stage, and he had this black mascara, and he had this big yellow constrictor wrapped around him. And I'm watching it going, because the video.
King Diamond?
What's that?
King Diamond?
No, it was. Yeah, I think we'll go from there. But I remember going, oh my God, what is this? Like, I mean, because the video before was something else where there was no theatrical thing to it. And I was just like, what is this? Right. Then you get into like, you get into Motley Crue and Shout at the Devil, and, they're all ninjas and stuff like that. But it was like, there was theatrics to everything. And that's what drew me into it. So I just thought that was interesting to know, and go there. I have to give 100% credit also, folks, with this Beasto Blanco book. Obviously, many of you are big fans of Good Boy, and so fortunate that Garrett Gunn, Kit Wallace, the Dream Team, Dave Lentz, Christina Blanche are all on this. This book, if you go into the inside, it's based on the characters created by Beasto Blanco. Special thanks to Calico Cooper and Chuck Garrick. It is awesome. I am telling you, this book, if you love Good Boy, the colors on these are amazing. It's a fun read. This is an ash can. For those of you that are new to what an ash can is, an ash can is basically a little sample. We give you a little hit. And if you like what you see, you'll pick up the first issue. And you will like what you see. And the first issue is going to be coming out very, very soon. And then everyone will think, well, then what else is going to happen? Well, do we have plans beyond issue number 1? I think we do.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
Well, let me show you how much you guys have inspired me. So since we started this this whole thing with the comic and storylines, and I got so inspired, it's just not something I had ever thought was possible. You know, I didn't know anybody in this world, and it's something I always secretly thought, you know, when I go no budget, I'm like comic book, right? Like, and this just came together. So since then, these are all the story notes that I have written.
Wow.
On and on and on and on and on and on and on. Like, anytime I get inspired by something I see in real life or TV or between us or a dialogue, I go, because I'm in. I see this as a world. I want to build this world. And my last inspo was when we were telling the guys in the band, you know, about like the comic and their characters, that, you know, I sat up and I created like, okay, so this is how he's going to be. I started creating timelines of how these people met and why they all seem like they're from different eras. And I went, oh, I've got it. So this has been so fun for me because it taps into a part of my brain that I really can only access when I'm playing with Beasto, because there's no no's. There's no, that's a bit much. It's like, all right, let's go. So
it's a comic.
I mean, even so much so that I was outside writing it last night and I came up with a storyline that actually made me go, I shed a tear, and I was like, "Ooh, I can't wait to tell Garrett."
Yeah. And Garrett's, you know, I work with Garrett on a lot of stuff. I'm going to be writing my first little bitty story for Good Boy, which I'm very nervous about. And my phone looks just like yours, where I've just got a million different ideas and concepts, and your brain goes into another gear, right? Mm-hmm. But I think all of us would sit here and say, Garrett is a guy that you definitely want to talk to, because he'll never tell you no. He will tell you, do it. Let's go. He's like the biggest machine behind this stuff, when he's just like, I love it. I love it. That's his thing every time. I love it. And he and I
got along so well. When we first got on the phone, Chuck's like, Calico, meet Garrett. Garrett, meet Calico. And I'm like, okay, so this one time in Mortal Kombat, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, all right.
Yeah, I love that about both you and, you know, everybody so far. It's like, you know, you talk to Garrett on Friday, you'd have this idea, and you go, okay, talk to you on Monday, and on Monday he's got a script, and it's just everything happens very fast, and with good, it was very fluid, and the ideas were heard, and I love people's instincts. We're all going down the right path. We are all so well connected with just from the way it looks, the colors, the script, where it's headed. I got to tell you, this is my first experience with a comic, and I can't even like begin. Like, I've read this thing like 6 or 7 times already. I am so waiting for the rest of the story, and I even know what happens, but still I don't know. You know, it's just like it's really it's something that I'm really, really proud of, and I'm extremely grateful to everybody that's been involved from the ground up. Even you know, I just it just to me is so exciting, because it just is such a, as an artist, it's just another medium for us to create from and give back and make this whole thing. We're, you know, the way I look at it is we're a moving picture, and I'd love to see this thing move on from being animation, hitting the big screens, in your local theaters, on stage, everything, because that's the way I look at it. Like I said, we're in this thing to go big, man.
Yeah, no, and we've all had conversations behind the scenes about how far we want to take this, right, and how far we want to keep going with this. And, you know, for a lot of people that are out there and are wondering, well, I mean, has this been done before? Well, yes, it has, and it's been done by some of the biggest names ever. We've had Kiss, we've had Alice Cooper. We've had Coheed and Cambria have actually done this too. So we've had this before, but we haven't had it for a while. So when we talk about this is unique. It's different. It's a fun story. And one of the great things about Source Point Press and Beasto Blanco is they're not taking themselves super seriously. Like they talked about this entire interview. They are here to have fun with you guys. They are here to bring these characters for you guys to enjoy them. And we've got 2 covers by Kit. We've shown them before, but I mean, these are so sick. The other one is this one where we've got Chuck. And I think Chuck's actually wearing the same coat as he has on in this one.
I wore that.
Isn't that apropos? I mean,
I wore that
go.
on stage on the boat.
And so it's super sick. So as we go on, we know that we can find you guys at www.beastoblanco.com. There's a lot of great merchandise that people can pick up there. There's always new rotating stock coming in and out. Mm-hmm. I have to ask, when do you guys have more shows coming up? I know with COVID, all the things that have been going on, you just did the cruise. Do you have more shows planned coming up here in the summer?
Yeah, we're looking at some dates right now, more towards the end of June, or July, August, September. We're starting to build upon that as well, and we're looking at doing more tour dates, and also we have to get in the studio and finish our record.
Yeah,
we've got a lot of stuff happening, and right now we're just polishing this diamond right here and getting this done, and we've always got stuff working, man. It's just how we roll. We're constantly moving forward and being as creative as we can, and so there's always going to be something, and I'm hoping that this whatever shows we build up towards in July, August, September, October all lead us to meeting new fans that now become fans of the comic and are maybe new to the band or whatever. Yeah, and just meet new people and hopefully get in there and get involved in some Comic-Cons and some in-stores and things like that, so we have a chance to really connect with the people.
I think I know.
I think come to life, right? Don't you? Like, I can't wait to do it. Like, even when we did it on this boat just then, the inspiration from even the colors that the comic was done in, I changed my makeup, like with the colors. And like, I cannot wait to bring, because I plan on, I probably should have talked to you about this first, Chuck. No, I'm kidding. But where we go in the book, oh, that's me.
Isn't that awesome?
Oh, wow. Look at me.
No, it's so cool. I'm sorry to do this, but I can't help it.
We brought the comic on stage. And so the plan is that we're going to tell the story almost like a Broadway play. So the comic, I want to make the show hit the plot points of the comic, so it ends the way the comic ends.
Yeah.
So you're seeing this actual Space Wave Conquest, which will probably be the name of the tour, hit every plot point, right? Including the very big ending, the very big opening. So I can't wait.
No, it's going to be exciting. And I think one of the beautiful parts for us is, I in my discussions with both of you, about things, I've always said, look, I don't know anything about the music business, right? That's you guys. I know about the comic business, and we're building this family, which is so beautiful that we're able to say, hey, if you guys want to do conventions, it's just a phone call for us, right? And to get you guys out there and get you in front of people, I think is going to be exciting because you guys are great. I mean, you're awesome. I love talking with you guys, and I love, Chuck makes you want to run through a wall when he gets excited about something. I'm telling you right now, and I love that about him.
I get myself excited, and I do run into walls.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the scar.
Well, we are going to we're hopefully going to have you guys on again and maybe do this with a little bit more of not, just kind of seeing where things are going for you guys, what's coming up, and hopefully you guys would want to do that, and we'll go from there. We are going to be putting these up on Comic-Con Line here in a minute. We're a little bit behind, but we've enjoyed talking with you. Calico is directing a commercial right now, which is just kind of epic, right in the middle of that. Chuck may have just got done playing a round of golf for all we know.
You don't know, but that definitely did not happen.
But Calico's walking us out to the to the set. But we are going to debut this right now on Comic-Con Line. I'm just going to give everybody the prices. We have 700 of the cover A's and the cover B's available. And these come with a COA that's epic. Thank you, Corey, for creating that. We've got those. They're going to be up on the website. They are $20 each for the ash can. They are beautifully printed, heavy stock. Or if you want to buy the pair, they're $30. So we knock $10 off. We put that together. We also were fortunate enough, and I have to say thank you so much to all of Beasto Blanco. They signed copies of this. They all have their different colors. Both covers are signed. These will come with a special COA. That's actually in. I got my copies for the video, but the guys have them. There's some that are remarked with little sayings or little remark, little sketches on them, things like that from the band members. We have 8 of those that'll be randomly inserted. Those aren't being held back for anything. They're going to be inserted into certain packages. So you'll get those. Those are $40 each, or if you want to get the pair for $70, you certainly can. And I think I'll just break news right now. I mean, we are doing an exclusive for #1. I don't mind saying that. That's how excited we are about this. We've already put ourselves forward. We know this is going to be a banger. We know this is going to be epic. I can just, the last thing that I want to say to you both is when this was brought to our attention, Garrett called me first and said, hey, I want to do this book with Beasto Blanco. Do you want to be involved? And he gave me the pitch. I was just like, yeah. And I called my partner, Corey, and I literally just said, this is the pitch I got. So I just want to make sure. And he was like, we're doing it. So, I mean, it's pretty epic all the way around to see that. So are you guys ready to launch this book for all of Beasto Blanco Nation?
Yes, let's do it.
World? So they're giving their blessing. We're going to put it up. You can get your copy at comicconline.com. It might be in the chat also. You have to go to the website. You can get them. Remember, it's cheaper if you buy 2, but buy what you want. Maybe buy one for a friend. Why not? And while you're at it, if you really want to get involved and you're not listening to Beasto Blanco yet, which I'd have to ask you, why are you not? It's a great way to get involved in both mediums at the same time. So if you are a Beasto Blanco fan, you never collected comics, this is it. If you are a comic fan and you've never listened to Beasto Blanco, this is your gateway drug to get into it, right? And it's going to happen. So we appreciate you guys coming on. We are super excited about this. We will clearly talk very, very soon, and we want to have you guys on again. And I don't know what we'll do. We'll do something fun. We'll do trivia night or something. I don't know what we'll do. We'll do something.
That'll be awesome. We are so excited, and I cannot wait to bring this to life. I'm already on the phone making notes. Like,
well,
yeah,
we
if
are
you
certainly
have questions about what we look like or what you're getting into. Just Google Beasto Blanco, and that's pretty much what you're going to see. Every cross-eyed, insane thing you've ever imagined you see on stage, that's what's happening.
Visit beastoblanco.com. Visit beastoblanco.com. Make sure that you do that. There's always going to be updates. Yeah, I mean, if you haven't seen the promotion that we have running with Chuck, if you haven't seen the TikTok video that Calico did, I mean, that did not take 2 seconds for Calico to do. I'm going to tell you that right now.
What
that
do you
was
mean
so sick.
Like that?
It was so sick. It was so sick. I mean, literally, I called Garrett. I said, have you seen Calico's TikTok video yet? He's like, no, dude. And I'm like, dude. I mean, that's how we talk, right? It's dude. And I was like, dude. And he immediately was like, that's sick. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, it's so anyways, we are super excited. We're going to have Chuck and Calico on again. We know your time is precious. We know we got a lot going on. But folks, trust me, we are 100% committed to this. Beasto Blanco is 100% committed to this. Source Point Press is. 3 powerhouses. We're just going to keep working together, and we are going to see an animated short or a film soon. I'm praying for it.
It'll happen.
We'll be there. It'll happen. Chuck said it. It's going to come true.
100%. Yeah, it's already in motion. It's gonna happen. I put it on my board. So
well, if
you
you
visualize it, and it happens.
Get back at your haters. When I was a kid and when I first started acting, my acting coaches and my teachers would go, you know, you have a cartoon character face. Like, nobody actually talks like that. And I'm like, I do. I look like a Disney character, first of all. Yeah. You know, I understand I have these crazy eyes, but like, I would move my face and talk with my hands in these ways, and they would go, you're such a cartoon character. Bring it down, bring it down. And now I'm like,
I think what's great about you, Calico, and I'll say this as we end, is truly, if people saw you on the street, this is the truth. And then they see Machine Girl. I mean, you are 2 different people. Like, there's nobody going, hey, I think that's Calico. Like, I mean, that would be
I
my
know.
opinion. I mean, because they're so
Thank you.
different.
It's a disorder. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad for that because I don't know if I could hang out with Machine Girl all day.
Oh, God, no.
She,
I couldn't hang out with
it
her.
would just be
And
constantly
Chuck's
like,
just Chuck
what's
24/7,
going
right?
to happen next? But I will say this: the energy on stage is unmatched. She's a force to be reckoned with, and the beautiful thing about Beasto Live is that we have a set list, but it's a different show every night. The moves are different. The attitude can change, and the flip of a bat can just wreak havoc, and we weren't even expecting. So there's just so much going on, and we're always on our toes. It's like a boxing match. You just never know what's going to happen, but at the same time, you're having fun in there throwing blows, and it's a great time. We love it. Our fans are into it, and again, thank you to you guys, everybody over there, because you've given new life to this band.
Dream come true.
And we're grateful because this is something we've dreamt about for a long time, and to see it actually happen, and to be able to touch it now, it's like we know it's real, and we are excited to bring the animation to life, and the voice of these characters, and I'm just looking forward to many, many more.
Yeah, and the last thing I would say is, from my perspective as a comic guy, I am looking so forward to seeing you guys on stage live. I know, Chuck, you and I are going to meet up this summer here where I live, when you're on the tour, when you're on the road. But guys, if you get the opportunity, like I'm jonesing, you got to make sure you're following them. Beasto Blanco. Also follow them on Facebook. You can follow Calico. You can follow Chuck. If you guys want to throw out your Instagram handles, go ahead and do that before we jump off.
Yeah, mine's just at Calico Cooper.
Follow us at Beasto Blanco, and I'm official Chuck Garrick.
There you go. There we go. And they're going to have tour dates when they get finalized, all of that. Hopefully they're coming to a town near you. Go see them. Please do that. Experience everything. You get the comic, you get the music, you get it all. There's no BS here. I mean, literally the introduction to the show, and I'm sure it's going to evolve, is right from the comic. And that's what's so awesome about this and why we're so excited. We're going to jump off. We're going to let everybody get back to where they go. Calico, Chuck, thank you so much for being on. We'll have you guys on again very soon when the schedules permit for both of you. And we'll go from there. Make sure you visit comiconline.com to pick up your copies. And please do a favor for us. If you find these copies, make sure that you tag Chuck. Make sure that you tag Calico. Tag Beasto Blanco. Show off your copies when you get them in the mail. We are totally cool with that. Yeah, they want to see it. They'll probably say thank you. I mean, like, do it. It'll be awesome. Make sure you take Comic Online. We want to see these in your hands. That's the entire purpose why we print them. Okay. All right. Thank you guys so much again. We will talk to you guys very, very soon. And Greg, if you want to bring me on. All right. Well, there you go. We got to meet with Calico. We got to meet with Chuck. We hope that you thoroughly enjoyed that. I loved it. If you're not feeling the energy and the vibe that they're bringing to this, it's there. Trust me, two of the most creative people I've ever been able to work with outside of comics and now inside of comics. I'm going to give you the sales pitch because I have to. We've got Beasto Blanco #1. Kit Wallace did an amazing job on this cover. You'll see it there. It's beautifully printed. It's got the Comic-Con line on the back. We've also got the B cover, is what we call this. And this is another amazing one with the entire crew on there again. They all come with a COA out of 700. If you want to buy both, you can get the pair for $30, or they're $20 each. So maybe you have a favorite cover. We also have a very small amount of these, 250 total of each cover. There's 250 of these signed by the band. It'll come with a COA, certificate of authenticity, saying it's signed by all members of the band. We also have the B cover signed by all members of the band. You can buy those for $40 each, or $70 for the pair. A lot of notes down here, as you see me looking down there. There's also 8 random remarks. They're a little different than everything else that we be randomly inserted in there. You can get those at www.comiconline.com. Pretty easy to find, and we'll do that. I want to thank Corey and Greg back in the studio, Rich Capabianco also for Comic-Con Line, for allowing us to do this. This isn't done. I'm just letting you know. You want to get it on the ground floor, this is it. We have bigger things that we're planning with Beasto Blanco, bigger things with Source Point Press. And we're just super excited. If you're a fan of Good Boy, you're a fan of the art, the writing, this is going to be the book for you. I promise you that. Until the next time, which I don't know when the next time will be. I'm sure it'll be soon. This is JJ. We will see you guys soon. Thank you so much and have a great